Jamie Vardy's story from the bottom to the top is very well told, and rightly so, but he's not the only top Premier League player. He's had to dip his toes into non-league to help build a career in football, and this video highlights the top 10 players you didn't know had been in non-league. But first of all, this video is sponsored by One Football, which is a great way to stay up to date with loads of different information from football up and down the pyramid in England and overseas. You can find out about all different scores, transfers, news, fixtures, league tables, stats, and loads of different information as well in the Premier League for all of these different players at these different clubs who've risen up from non-league and into the big time. If you haven't downloaded the app, the link to download it is in the description down below in the top line, so go and download that. But anyway, let's get straight into the top 10 with Michail Antonio. Making 33 appearances last season in the Premier League, Michail Antonio enters this list as a man who was in non-league a decade ago. He began his career with Tooting and Mitcham United as a 12-year-old, and Antonio progressed through their youth setup to reach the first team in 2007 as a then 17-year-old. In fact, he scored on his debut. A year later, he was snapped up by Reading, but rejoined Tooting on loan for part of his first season with the Royals, netting 7 times in 9 games. He'd go on to play for the likes of Southampton, Sheffield Wednesday, Nottingham Forest before a £7 million move saw him leave Forest for West Ham in 2015, where he's now a Premier League centurion. At number 9 is Gary Cahill, who's another example of a player that wasn't picked up by a top club until he was well into his teenage years. The centre-back grew up playing for his hometown Sunday League club, AFC Dronefield in Derbyshire, until he was 15 years old. He said in an interview that all my friends played for the local side AFC Dronefield, so I went along and started playing centre-half and in central midfield for them. During his time there, he was actually scouted by a number of different clubs, including the likes of Barnsley, Sheffield Wednesday, Derby and Aston Villa, the latter of which he joined in 2000. He'd been in the first team 4 years later, but spent the majority of his career with Bolton Wanderers and more recently Chelsea, who actually released him at the end of the 18-19 season. Despite him being without a club, I very much doubt he'll have to drop back into non-league to find a new one. Yannick Bolasie comes into this list at number 8. The tricky winger enjoyed a rather interesting beginning to his football career, playing for the likes of Russian and Diamonds in their youth teams before signing for West London-based side Hillingdon Borough. They were then in the 8th tier, and he played for them as a 17-year-old. However, he'd soon be on the move, moving over to Malta to sign for Floriana, before coming back to England with Plymouth Argyle, and then was sent back out on loan to Rushden. He slowly climbed the leagues and played in the Premier League for the first time in 2013 with Crystal Palace. His performances for Palace made Everton want to spend £25 million on him in 2016. Number 7 is Kalin Wilson. Having progressed with the Coventry City youth setup, Wilson spent 2 spells in non-league. The first was with Kettering and then Tamworth. He spent 4 months with the Poppies as a 19-year-old before a short period with the Lambs, only making 1 appearance. He's now with Bournemouth, and the rapid forward has cemented himself as a top-flight striker, and now enters his 5th season in the Premier League and is 6th with the Cherries, scoring over 50 goals and 136 appearances in total. And at number 6 is James Tarkowski. The next on this list is Burnley's solid centre-back, who was released by his boyhood club Blackburn Rovers as a 14-year-old for, as he puts it, being a big lad but too soft. He would then go on to play for North West County side Main Road in a spell of men's football that he described as a great learning experience. After this non-league spell, he was given a chance higher up in the pyramid by Oldham Athletic, who he joined. He's since played for Brentford, and an £11 million transfer to Burnley happened in 2016, and the 26-year-old now has 85 Premier League appearances to his name, as well as a couple of England caps. Number 5 is Chris Smalling. Having been released by Millwall, Smalling found himself in a position where he needed to rebuild his career. He joined Maidstone United as a 17-year-old, and less than 4 years later, he'd moved to the previous season's Premier League runner-up, Manchester United, for £12 million. This came after he progressed through Maidstone's youth team to the first team, but only made a handful of appearances before being snapped up by Middlesbrough, but left within a month due to homesickness, so signed for Fulham instead. The Cottagers paid £10,000 for his services, plus £10,000 for every 10 league matches he played. He would only just break past double figures in appearances before his move to the Red Devils, and he's now got over 200 appearances with United and has played over 30 times for England. Joe Hart is the first goalkeeper on this list and comes into this list at number 4. He's one of those annoying lads at school that was very good at every sport. Joe Hart had an early choice to make in his life: football or cricket. He played in the youth teams of Worcestershire County Cricket Club, as well as being in the academy of his hometown football club, Shrewsbury Town. He chose football, and his first appearances at senior level would come in England's 5th tier. The 2003-2004 season saw Hart play twice between the sticks for Shrewsbury, his debut coming the day after his 17th birthday. During that season, the side would get promoted to the Football League, and after 53 appearances for Shrewsbury, he would end up signing for Man City for a fee which would later reveal to be £100,000. Despite him moving on a free transfer to Burnley in 2018, City got a lot of value out of him, making over 250 appearances, as well as 75 caps for England. Number 3 is fellow goalkeeper Jordan Pickford. He had 2 loan spells in non-league during the early years of his career. A young prospect at Sunderland, then 18-year-old, who was sent out on loan to Darlington, where he played 17 times in the conference before he was sent to Alfreton for 12 games at the same level in the following season. Fast forward 3 years and Pickford was establishing himself as one of the world's top young keepers, and we're going to move to Everton for an initial fee of £25 million, making him the most expensive British goalkeeper ever. And that's not bad progression for a player that was in non-league just 5 years earlier. Number 2 is one of the most obscure ones on this list, and it's Christian Pulisic. Chelsea's £58 million American spent the majority of his childhood in Pennsylvania in the USA, but spent 1 year living in England when he was 7 years old. While he was here, he was part of the youth setup at now National League North side Brackley Town. The part-timers currently reside in England's 6th tier, where Pulisic, now just 20, has already made over 100 Bundesliga appearances with Borussia Dortmund before his move to Stamford Bridge earlier this year. He's also got 38 caps for the US national team, but it's cool to think that his football career in England started in a little town in Northamptonshire. In at number 1 is Ben Chilwell. While Pulisic may have played at a non-league club when he was just 7 years old, this current Premier League regular has played in non-league until he was twice Pulisic's age. Chilwell was part of the youth setup at the now defunct club Rushden and Diamonds up until he was 14. Prior to being with the Diamonds, Chilwell, born in Milton Keynes, wasn't picked up by any top-level academies, instead playing for local junior teams. He eventually moved to Leicester City in their youth academy in 2010, and his career has flourished ever since. The left-back missing just 2 of the Foxes Premier League matches during the 18-19 season, and he's also picked up 7 England caps. Despite going relatively unnoticed as a kid, the same can't be said now. Man City are reportedly ready to spend as much as £50 million on the 22-year-old, and that's why he is number 1 on this list. There you have it, that is it for this video. Which of these players did you know played in non-league and which of them did you have absolutely no idea? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, remember to hit that like button and click subscribe as well to stay up to date with loads of new videos coming out over the next few months, all related to non-league football. All sorts of different news, unique situations, top 10s, predictions, loads of things coming out in the next few weeks, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, I hope to see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.